Hi, my name is Ceci, and welcome to my video or channel, whichever works. Today I want to talk about why we live, and I will be doing that through sharing some of my lived experience. One of the things that is very hard for me to discuss is my existential dread that leads me to the desire to die. It leads me, the thing that leads to my desire to stop existing in the physical material world. I've had a few attempts by now, and it's really hard when you fall into those pits of complete sorrow and despair to the point where it doesn't matter how much it might hurt. It doesn't matter if nothing matters anymore. You feel hopeless, and nothing can tell you, at least, again, like, I just want to make sure that people know that when I say we or you, I am talking about myself. So if it doesn't apply to you, that's okay. Like, everyone's different. Everyone has their own experiences. Lived experience is vital when it comes to the way we support others. One of the things that therapy fails at is providing people with that sense of, camaraderie when it comes to fighting through mental health, even though so many of us deal with it. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of those things. There's so many of us that struggle, and yet we feel so alone in it. And the purpose of me starting this channel, of making this video, is that I'm tired of feeling alone. And if I feel like that, if I feel so lonely and like no one understands, then I can't imagine. Logically, I know that there are so many of us out there that feel the same way. And out of the billions of people in the world, if I just reach one person by sharing my lived experience, by sharing, to know that, to offer a space where they feel like someone understands, then it's worth the overcoming the fear of sharing my deepest self. Well, as much as I can, and in a positive, strength-based way. Fancy therapy terms, whatever. So let's get this ball rolling. I'm going to be discussing a couple of quotes from this book called Say Yes to Life In Spite of Everything. It is a collection of lectures by Dr. Viktor Frankl, whose main contribution to the world of psychiatry and psychology is logos therapy, which it's I always stutter anyway. It's basically um, a type of therapy that focuses on finding meaning as a way um, to treat psychological problems. That is essentially the bread and butter, the main ingredient of logos therapy. What makes, I think the thing that he is most well known for, however, is his first book, the book that he actually wrote as a book, which is Man's Search for Meaning, where he talks about his experience in the concentration camps during World War II, during the Holocaust, and how he explains his personal experiences and the things that he saw, and basically what helped him keep going and why he is so passionate about, or how he came to create logos therapy. When I recently got out of inpatient after my last suicide attempt, and it wasn't, there was no like serious harm done, well, none of the physical kind, and when I stopped. I mean, of course, it was an attempt, so I started to hurt myself, but but ultimately I decided to stop, and I didn't pull myself out of it because I went inpatient, but there was something inside me that was like, no, like, it's not your time yet. It's, I needed help. I couldn't do this by myself. And it was above the support of regular therapy and my and the support that my loved ones could give me. To expand on it, I I I fell into this well of worthlessness, of meaninglessness of my life. I felt shattered, broken. It was like my heart turned to dust, and it was just powdered pieces of broken glass. When you break, sometimes you can glue yourself together. You know, like, you get the pieces and you piece yourself together, and I felt like I was beyond that. I was to the point where you can't even see what my heart used to be, what myself used to be. And so I fell into this hopelessness. And it sucked. When I went in there, one of the things that I kept asking for were my books. And specifically this book, the new Dr. Frankl's book of lectures that recently came out, Yes to Life, In Spite of Everything. Awesome book. And I've only read the first lecture. Anyway, I was able to find his words made sense to me, and I have a tendency to just kind of like blow off certain things, like, yeah, advice. That's, I feel like everyone gives advice, but no one hears or listens. Everyone wants to fix things, but sometimes they go straight to the fixing without looking for the cause. Kind of like when you hear this random sound in your car, and before they diagnose the issue in the car, they start fixing things, and you're just like, you don't even, like, what? You have to know what's going on, but I digress. That's a different topic anyway. I found, I redefined what my meaning in life is when I was in the hospital. When I was in the unit. And it shifted from happiness, from my meaning of just having this goal of just calm, this constant calm, where I find peace and certainty. And I had to shift it to a commitment of grit, a commitment of purpose. I had to find my purpose in life, find my meaning. And one of the quotes in this book: if I step onto my misfortune, I stand higher. I have to like visualize what that means. Step on my misfortune. I step on my depression, my, oh my gosh, my PTSD, my ADHD, the complete degradation. Not degradation. That's a horrible word. No, my struggles in executive functioning, like, you step on it and you stand higher. Resilience, grit. You keep going. You don't stop. Now, I am going to stop talking about, well, obviously I'm talking about myself. This is what this video is about. But I'm going to go to 2 quotes from this book that help me solidify my definition of my purpose in life, my definition, the why, on why I choose to keep living. Life itself means being questioned, means answering. Each person must be responsible for their own existence. Life no longer appears to us as a given, but as something given over to us. It is a task in every moment. This therefore means that it can only become more meaningful the more difficult it becomes. Life is not given to us, but rather given over to us. We are born, and there's this idea that us being alive means that we have a purpose, that living means that there's already a purpose for us, I guess. I don't know, rather than, what's that age old saying, life is what you make it. But it goes so much deeper than that. We want to feel happiness, we want to have joy, we want to experience all the good things in life, and then we cower from the bad, from suffering, and sometimes it's just so prolonged that sometimes it just becomes unbearable. And the things that keep us going is grit, is finding meaning in that suffering, whatever that meaning may be. You may not have the words for it to define it. You could just feel it inside. And whether you can articulate it, whether you can explain it to somebody, you don't need the words, you just need the feeling, you just need the reasoning inside, the wisdom. You balance feeling and logic and rationality. You combine those things to create meaning, because we can't just live in our feelings. We can't live in emotion, because emotions can be wrong. We're human. We're wrong sometimes. And our feelings, oh my gosh. Emotions are important, but they are not the only thing that is important. But life itself means being questioned. It means answering. The adversity that we face are the question that lives ask us. What is this experience trying to tell you? What are you learning from it? And you answer with fortitude, with strength. Even if you're just crawling on the floor inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, millimeter by millimeter, you answer life's hardballs by continuing to live, by building on your resilience, by knowing that these feelings of sorrow are going to end. No matter how long they last, they will end. And that is the reality, that is the logic. It can't stay forever. The last quote of this first lecture. Life is not something. It is the opportunity for something. Life is an opportunity. Life is the meaning in life. You find it in the little joys that you experience every day. When your dog sees a squirrel and it's just, you see that dog, just that joy in chasing things. You experience love, you experience pain, you experience the sensations, the physical sensations of living, water going down your throat, air, the sun, the warmth, the heat, the sweat. That is the meaning of life, experiencing the opportunity to make it what you want. And what I had to learn was that suicide is relinquishing that opportunity to make it something beautiful. I realized that the adversity that life is throwing at me, I wasn't answering the call to live through it. One of Frankl's quotes that I hear all the time is, "What is to give light must endure burning." And it stays with me all the time. And I just think to myself, all of this burning agony that I've been going, that I feel like I'm in, like this fire that I feel is just eating at my soul. I think about all of this adversity that sometimes feels all consuming. If I die, I'll never get to see, I will never get to experience just how bright the light comes out. The light that comes out of it will be. I won't get to see, I won't get to live what I could have been if I bared these things with courage. It's not what you bear, it's how you bear it. If you watched this whole video, I am deeply grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that it helps you in some way. Have a good day.